Okay, so we want to talk today about muffins. What's your first tip on muffins?
Well, looks like mixing can be overdone to the point where you even overmix. I don't think that concept occurs to people.
Well, what happens when you overmix?
Well, people don't realize that you can crush the poor victim air bubbles,
Oh,
which leads to very dense, stupid muffins.
oh wow.
No.
Okay, but then what's a good tip?
Well, first of all, as with anybody doing exercise, you have to let the batter rest at room temperature.
After it's had its workout of being beaten up?
Yes, it has to be for at least 30 minutes if has the wits enough to be able to tell time.
Now, what about if I just wanted to whip up a batch and stick it in the refrigerator overnight? Can I do that?
So yes, let it be overnight, and you might have to leave a flashlight on. Some of these batters are very sensitive and afraid of the dark,
Okay.
and nobody's really sure what happens when you close the refrigerator where the light ever goes out.
That's true. That's true. We don't know if they all tell stories around the campfire or not.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So then I've got my batter. What's the next step?
Well, some people say that you have to use a special pan for shiny muffins, but I don't
Oh,
think that's true.
so a shiny pan for shiny muffins?
Well, that's
Or
to be safe, yes.
what are your thoughts on paper liners like parchment paper and all that to per, I like using that in order to save on greasing the pan.
Well, some people like to use parchment paper, but they don't realize that some of the parchments have archaeological hieroglyphs on it and are useful.
Oh,
They come
like
from this very special
actual
pyramid.
papyrus parchment.
Yes, they
I
come from
see.
very special pyramids.
Okay, well, if we do have the papers, do we
Yes.
still need to grease the pan?
Well, in a corrupt world where you grease the palms of people, you have to grease the muffin
Do
cups
have
as
to
well.
grease it. Okay,
And
okay.
this is an imperfect world, and that's what you have to live with.
And how full should I make the cups? Do I fill it to the top?
No,
No? No, I did that
never.
wrong? Oh,
Yes, a lot of people
okay.
make that. I bet you if you were to look at one of those Hallmark overviews of a village, one half of the houses would have people overfilling their muffin cups inside.
They would. Okay, now
Yes.
what about just sticking it in at 350, 350 degrees Fahrenheit and just
No,
forgetting?
no. The
No,
wrong
okay.
temperature can lead to overcooked center or an overly cooked crust. In other words, the inside will be overcooked and the outside will be overcooked. But somewhere in
Overcooked or
between,
undercooked?
undercooked or overcooked, take your choice.
Just whichever way it's wrong.
Yes, but it
It
seems
needs
like
to
in
be
between.
perfectly cooked.
Yes.
I see. Okay. And then, okay, so now I'm done. The dinger's gone off. I've pulled the
Right.
muffins out of the oven.
Don't make too many demands on the muffins. Let them rest.
Oh, resting again. I
Yes,
rested at the
yes.
batter stage. Now I'm resting at the unbatter stage.
Muffins must be one of the laziest, most idle baked objects in the universe.
Okay, and what are your thoughts on just leaving them in the pan to cool versus popping them out onto a wire rack?
Well, let them sit in the pan for a few minutes before waking them up and moving them to a wire rack.
Okay, and then what's the final thing I need to do? Do I just serve them, put them on a nice plate,
You
or
can
what?
if you want naked muffins, but usually
What?
they like toppings on them.
Okay, so what's your favorite toppings?
Well, it may sound kind of fruity or nutty, but that's what you should use. Maybe a crumble.
A fruit, a nut, or a crumble. Okay, so those are the tips we have today
Yes.
for muffin baking. Thank you very much.
And it was a pleasure presenting this anti-information session to all the listeners out there.
We'll see you next